Welcome back to the 4th week of Rockmas. Today we are up in the ante yet again. We're just trying to make it bigger every week. So this week I thought that I've been meaning to cut this very large stump of petrified wood. This is a cordate found here in Nova Scotia from the late Carboniferous period around the Pennsylvanian era. And it's full of barite. It's gone through some coalification, so there's some carbon in it, but there's quite a lot of barite in it. As you can see, that's the white. And I thought today I would cut a end piece off, and the end piece I would epoxy and finish the surface, because these can take a polish, but they're not great polishes, but the epoxy really makes them pop. So I'm going to take an end piece off, I'm going to polish the end piece with epoxy, and that's what we're going to give away in today's video. So yeah, really, these are really cool. You guys are going to be really pleasantly surprised at how these look. But it's massive. This is a huge 30-pound piece. Picked this up myself, carried it down the beach, and I'm going to cut a piece off today and give it away to you guys. So I got it currently not viced in yet. I've just put it in here to see if it'll fit my saw. It's going to barely fit my saw. This is a 24-inch slab saw from Highland Park. And we're going to cut it on this. And we're going to get started right now. So let me vice this up and line it up, and then we'll make the cut. Okay, so our piece of petrified wood is done being cut. I'm suspecting it's going to be very black in here because the carbon and everything. So hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, it's pretty black. It's not bad around the top though. Our piece barely fit on the saw. And here's what we got. That's a beautiful piece. Holy smokes. Wow. That is gorgeous. It's got double ring action in there. Look at that barite, all those barite details, they just highlight the rings. That's awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak this in oil for a few hours and then wash it off, and then we'll start on the epoxy process. But this is a great piece. Okay, so all the oil is off of our piece, and this is what it looks like dry. You can see the nice barite crystals. So we're going to apply some epoxy. It's going to be a 2-part epoxy that will just mix up in even parts. And then we're going to apply it to the surface. We're only going to put a thin coat on. It's not going to be super thick. Probably just 1 coat, maybe 2. We'll have to, there's some holes in it, so we're going to have to fill it in. I brought another sample. This is a smaller piece, but I have epoxied this piece, and this is what it looks like when it's epoxied. Ends up being a pretty nice finish. It's mirror finish. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I've leveled up the piece here so that when I apply the epoxy, it doesn't run when I let it set and cure overnight. So we're pretty level on both sides. And I'll be using a torch to flash off any bubbles and stuff when we epoxy, but I'll show that process when we're doing it. So let's get started mixing up the epoxy, and then we'll apply it. Okay, so mixing my epoxy took forever. The reason is it was turning white because I had stored my epoxy in the garage and it was crystallizing. So I had to stir it quite a bit. You can still see there's a lot of bubbles in it, but I got the white mostly out of it. Yeah, just a tip for people: you should store your epoxy. Don't make the mistake I made. You should store your epoxy if you're using it in room temperature conditions. Don't store it in your garage. Don't store it anywhere where it gets colder, below like plus 10 Celsius, because it'll just give you problems. So this took a little longer to mix than usual, but I got it to where I can probably pour it now. There's a lot of bubbles in it, so I'm just gonna have to heat it, apply the heat regularly. I hope I made enough epoxy, but we're gonna see. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring this now and try to get this thing epoxied up. I finished applying the first coat of epoxy. I'm actually only going to apply one coat on this. I like to keep my epoxy layers very thin. I think it gives it a more natural look. If you put a too thick epoxy on, it just, you know, looks like you've done it with epoxy, right? But I like to keep it at least thin. It just means you have to spend a little more time flashing off the bubbles. But I spent quite a bit of time, probably a half an hour, flashing off bubbles. I've got it to where I'm happy now. When you look at it with the light, you don't really see any visible bubbles. There might be some micro ones in there. I'm hoping that as the curing process goes, it'll come to the surface and just pop. So we're going to leave this overnight and check it in the morning, and we should be good to go. But this is basically what it's going to look like. You can see the epoxy brings out just all the natural details. See some rings in there. I mean, the barite that grows within the rings, I mean, this black on white effect makes it really cool. Super, super, super cool specimen. And whoever wins this, you can put another coat of epoxy on, but I recommend just leaving it as is. So let's check back in the morning. We'll do the final reveal. So I thought while we're waiting for the epoxy to cure on the petrified wood, we would do the draw for the limb cast. So again, we are going to draw for this beautiful polished limb cast that is an end piece off my bigger log. And we're going to use the random YouTube picker. So I've got the video loaded up, and I filtered duplicate users. So we're gonna see how many comments we got. I think we got more this video than the last two. So yeah, we've got 117 entries in this one. So that's up about 30 entries from last time. So you guys must want this piece of limb cast. So let's go ahead and draw the winner. Good luck to everybody. Merry Rockmas. Sandra Anderson 217. You are the winner of this beautiful limb cast. Our comment was, that is a beautiful piece. So many types of rock in one piece. Love watching your videos. My favorite Christmas movie is Candles. Snow and Mistletoe. Candles, Snow, and Mistletoe. I've never seen that movie, actually. I'll have to check it out. So, congratulations again. Please send us your mailing details to where you want this mailed to rockhoundinglife@gmail.com. That email address is in the description. So let's go ahead and get back to checking out the epoxy. Let's go see if it cured. Okay, so our piece of petrified wood is cured, and it's nice and smooth. Everything's dry, looks great. Great mirror shine. Details pop. You can see all the grain, all the wood details. The barite, the white barite with the black is just really cool. So, in order to get into this draw for the 4th week of Rockmas giveaway, same as always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I think this week leave a comment for, you know what, I know we did this last year, but let us know what your favorite Christmas song is. My favorite Christmas song is Merry Christmas Baby by Bruce Springsteen. Let us know what yours is, and that gets you in the draw. So this will be the last regular video before Christmas. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas from the Rockhounding Life family to your guys' family. Hope your holidays is great. Next week's draw is going to be something we haven't given away before. It's going to be really special. You shouldn't miss it. Especially for you budding lapidary artists out there. So make sure you're tuning in to next week's video, next Thursday's video. We didn't do a Christmas song this year. Usually we do a Rockmas song that summarizes the 5 weeks of Rockmas. We didn't do that this year, but we will re-release on Christmas Eve, which will be Sunday, the 5 week of Rockmas video that we did last year. We're going to release that again this year on Christmas Eve. We had a lot of new subscribers this year, so you know they might not have seen it. So we're just going to re-release that. It's a lot of effort to make that kind of video, so yeah, we'll just let that one have its moment again this year. So again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everybody have a safe holiday, and we'll catch you in the next one.